My name is Tamryn Schmahl, and I'm a birth and postpartum doula, a hypnobirthing childbirth educator, and the founder at Shakti Births. I'm going to be speaking to you a little bit about the role of the birth doula. A lot of people don't quite know what it is that we do as doulas, or they don't really understand where it is in the birth room that we fit in. So my hope is that with this presentation, you're going to leave with a much better understanding of who we are as doulas, what we do, and what benefits there are in including a doula as part of your birth team. So let me just take you through what we will be covering in this presentation. I'm going to take a look at what a birth doula is, what our role is. We provide informational support, emotional support, as well as physical support. So I'll take a look at these three areas and just give you some examples of the kind of support that you can expect to receive in each of the areas. Then we're going to take a look at the benefits of a doula, what the research tells us about having a doula as part of your birth team. We're going to look at the role of a doula in conjunction with a partner. So we're going to see how doulas and partners work together. How do you afford a doula? We're going to chat through some of those options available to you. We're going to explain to you how you hire a doula, how you go about doing it, and when a good time is to hire a doula. And then we will be ending off. So first up, what is a birth doula? So I want to start off by saying that you actually get different types of doulas. You get antepartum doulas who support moms only during the pregnancy. You get postpartum doulas whose role comes in after the birth during the postpartum period. And then you even get bereavement doulas whose role it is to assist a mom when there has been a loss, for example, a miscarriage or a stillbirth. So you get many different types of doulas, but this evening I'm specifically going to be speaking to you about what it is that a birth doula does. So a birth doula is a non-medical trained professional who provides parents with informational, physical, and emotional support throughout pregnancy, labor, birth, and the immediate postpartum period. Our aim really as a birth doula is to provide you with unbiased support in your decisions, whatever they may be, so that you can have the birth experience you envision. We want to give you that positive birth experience that you deserve. A doula is also hired in addition to your medical care provider, so whether you're birthing with an OB/GYN or with a midwife, and our role is to provide continual support to you during your labor and your birth. So what does that support actually look like? We provide informational support, emotional support, as well as physical support. And in the next few slides, I'll take you through each of these areas just to elaborate a little bit on the kind of support that you can expect to receive from us. But that being said, different families have different needs and priorities, which are, as unique to them as what they are unique as human beings. And so the area of support that your doula may focus on will most probably be unique to you as a family and different from what support you would provide to other families. So I think the sign of a good doula really is being flexible and being able to attune well to her client's needs. So basically, when we see a need, we try to fulfill it. And every single doula support journey is going to look different for each family. So I chatted a little bit about informational support. What does this actually look like? So you can sort of think of your doula as your personal Google. You're going to be asking her anything about pregnancy, about birthing, and thanks to her knowledge, her experience, and her training, she's going to be able to provide the answers to you on these questions, or at the very least refer you to other professionals who will be able to assist you with those answers. Something that's important to note is that the info we provide is reliable. So Facebook mommy groups, I'm looking at you. So you don't have to question whether the info you're receiving from your doula is an old wives' tale or if it really holds true. In other words, is there evidence to support it? So what we can offer in terms of informational support may include recommendations on different care providers or birthing facilities within South Africa. So this can really be quite an overwhelming process, especially in South Africa because of our cesarean culture that we've got. So if you are striving for a natural birth, you may not know where to go to actually get one. Growing up in South Africa, we all know that when you fall pregnant, you go to a gynae and you birth in a hospital and you probably have a C-section. And that's sort of just what we have come to expect. But your doula is there to give you information on the right care provider for the kind of birth you would like to have. It's not that we only support natural births. I have my clients who go for their elective cesareans. In which case our role looks a little bit different, but no matter what kind of birth you would like to have, we are there to support you through it and to refer you to the care providers who can give you that kind of birth. And we're going to be providing you with a lot of resources. This can be on pregnancy, birth, postpartum period, feeding options, and even newborn care. So this can be in the form of videos, articles, infographics, and just general chats that you will be having with your doula throughout your pregnancy, during which time we develop a wonderful relationship with you. We'll also provide you with recommendations on allied professionals. So for example, if you're experiencing some pelvic pain or back pain, we may refer you to chiropractors. If you're looking at breastfeeding options, we know some wonderful lactation consultants, or perhaps you need to go for one of those important scans during the pregnancy, in which case we probably know a good few sonographers to refer you to. We're going to provide you with information, for example, on what to pack for the birth and what essentials you need for a new baby, because we've been there and we've done that. We can provide you with childbirth education. So some of us do, for example, teach antenatal classes like hypnobirthing. And our goal is to teach you what to expect during the labor and the birth process and to teach you ways of coping with labor. Then we're going to take a look at your birth plan or your birth wish list, and we're going to assist you in drawing up that birth plan so that you can chat about it with your care provider. And lastly, support groups. This could be in the form of physical support groups, for example, the 𝙬𝙤𝙗𝙬𝙗 League for breastfeeding. It could be in the form of online support groups for no matter what challenge or experience it is that you are facing. There's usually a group of parents who are going through the same thing, and it can be really useful to have that sort of support. Then, of course, the emotional support. So honestly, your emotional well-being is really extremely important to your doula. If during your pregnancy you are perhaps feeling anxious or overwhelmed with the process, or you just want someone to chat with so that you can gush over those adorable baby goods you just bought, that is what your doula is there for. So you can sort of think of her as your best friend during pregnancy and birth. And we really aim to try and reduce your fear and help you find that inner power and confidence as a new parent. So when it comes to labor, we're often in contact from the very start of labor. You know, your doula is there for you over the phone, and then she's there in person, supporting you, supporting your partner every step of the way. And it really does help to have that reassurance from someone who is well-trained and who attends births frequently, and it puts everyone at ease, from the birthing parent to their partner to any family members who may be around during that early labor stage. And although we cannot do medical checks because we are not medically trained, so for example, we cannot be doing internal cervical checks, we can often gauge from mom's behavior and from other signs that we've come to expect during labor as to when it's time to head in. For a lot of first-time parents, it's not uncommon for them to go into their birth facility too early in labor, just because they're not quite sure what it is that they're feeling or experiencing. And so the doula is a knowledgeable person who's there to assure you and help you decide to go in around the right time. And then we are providing that continual labor support. So that means even if your care providers leave the room, which could be for a couple of hours at a time, especially earlier in the labor process, whether you're birthing at a hospital or with a private midwife, for example, your doula is still going to be there for you. She's providing that calm and reassuring presence, and she really only takes short breaks so that she can use the bathroom or perhaps grab something to nibble on if it is a long labor. And when you doubt your ability to push through, hello transition, your doula is there to hold your hand, to look you in the eye, and to encourage you like nobody else can, because she's been there before. We've been there before. We are that other female presence in the room who really knows what it is that you're going through and who can push you through so that you can meet your baby on the other end of this. And then we have physical support. So I think this is where you're going to see the most action from a doula. And I'm going to go through a list of things now that you can probably expect to see your doula doing during your birth. But of course, it's by no means an exhaustive list, but I hope that it just gives you an idea of what physical support from a doula can look like. So she could be fetching things from the car on the way to your birth, from a linen room in the hospital. Really, it's just about having an extra set of hands, because there's a lot of stuff to be done during a labor and during the birth. She's going to be setting up the environment so that it's conducive for labor. Things like dimming the lights, putting up some candles or electronic candles, some fairy lights. She might be drawing a bath for you. And then, of course, she's handling those comfort measures. So she may be providing you with some lovely counter pressure on your back. She could be doing hip squeezes, massaging you, showing your partner how to do these things. She's coaching you through breathing, teaching you those breathing techniques. Perhaps she has a TENS machine in her doula bag. She may be doing some rebozo sifting with you. There are so many different comfort measures, and every doula also has their own go-to technique. So it's definitely worth chatting about with your doula beforehand and seeing if these are the kind of techniques you would be interested in using during your labor. She will be assisting you with different positions, so as to enhance your comfort during the labor process, and also to assist your labor in progressing at a good pace. So she's probably got something like a peanut ball or a birth ball, for example, in her doula bag of tricks. And there's all these little things that a lot of people may not pick up on during a birth. She sees your lips are dry. She's going to grab that lip balm, dab some on your lips. She may be tying your hair up to get it out of your face. She might be wiping your brow with a cool washcloth when you're feeling really hot and sweaty. She might simply be holding your hand when you need that hand to grip. She may be doing more logistical, practical things. For example, unpacking yours and your baby's things so that the process runs smoothly. If someone needs a towel, if, for example, you need those pads or those adult diapers because your water is broken, your doula is going to be grabbing those things and having them readily available, just allowing everything to progress smoothly. And of course, the importance of eating and hydrating during labor, as well as reminding you to take those toilet breaks to empty your bladder. And after the birth, she's going to be assisting you with that first toilet visit, preparing a peri bottle, for example, if you've had stitches. She will be assisting you with that first shower and making sure that you and your partner have eaten after the birth. She will be facilitating skin to skin with both you and your partner and initiating breastfeeding if you would like to breastfeed. And then those little practical things, especially for new parents, helping you get that first nappy on, showing dad how to do it, showing you how to burp the baby, dressing the baby. All of these little tips and tricks, of course, that she's picked up along the way as a doula and as a parent herself. So I hope this has given you a little bit of an indication of the kinds of physical support measures your doula may implement during your labor and birth. So what does the evidence say about a doula? If we look at the Cochrane review that was done in 2017 on continuous labor support, it was found that the birthing women who had the support of a doula were less likely to need any medicinal pain relief, for example, oral or IV analgesics or pain medication in a drip. You are less likely to receive an epidural or a spinal. 15% 20% more likely to have a spontaneous vaginal birth, 39% less likely to have a cesarean, less likely to have an instrument-assisted birth, for example, with the use of a Kiwi vacuum or forceps, less likely to need augmentation with artificial oxytocin. So that means that you're less likely to need your labor artificially progressed. You're also less likely to have a baby with a low APGAR score at 5 minutes after the birth. Of course, the APGAR score is the rating of baby's overall status or health after the birth. In other words, how well are they adjusting to life outside of the womb? And mothers reported 35% less negative birth experiences when they had a doula in attendance at their births. So let's take a look at doulas and partners, because sometimes the partner doesn't quite understand how a doula's role will fit in with theirs, or they may even worry that a doula is somehow going to replace them. Rest assured, this is not at all the case. You as the partner are the expert on your partner, and the doula is the expert on birth. And so together we combine this knowledge, and that allows us to bring about the best possible birth experience for both parents. The thing is, it can be a little overwhelming to see your partner in discomfort, and even a little weird to see them in labor land, as we call it, when those endorphins are flowing during labor, and mom seems a little bit high even. But a doula is able to show you the best support techniques so that you can help guide your partner through labor and provide her with more comfort. And the thing is, even if you've done an antenatal course, it can be really difficult to remember everything that there is to know about labor and birth. And it's actually a lot of unnecessary pressure on the partner, on dad. I often say that expecting a partner to be the only birth companion during labor and birth is sort of like letting them watch a rugby game on TV and the very next day they have to go and coach the Springboks. You know, it's quite a high ask for them. So really having a doula there allows the partner to be as involved as they would like to be without the pressure of knowing everything there is about labor and birth. And this allows them just to be fully present from an emotional standpoint, and it allows them to just enjoy their child's birth. And you know, the partner is that rock. They are that strength and emotional support that the birthing parent is looking to. And so a lot of the times you might find that the doula is out of view of the mom. Dad, partners in front of mom, holding her hand, looking in her eye, and the doula is behind the mom, for example, squeezing her hips or massaging her back. And what often happens is that the partner is the only support available to mom in early labor when they're still at home. And so it's really reassuring to have a doula on the other side of the phone, and of course later on in person, whom they can ask questions and who can guide them on what to do during the process. And of course, when there's a really long labor, partners may need to take a break. It could be from the intensity of the birth room, because it's better to have a partner taking breaks and coming back and being fully present than sort of zoning out because they're overwhelmed. And, you know, perhaps they need to take a bathroom break, or maybe they even need to take a nap because they were awake with mom during most of that early labor. And now that there are more people around to support, they can just take that 30-minute power nap before things really start heating up towards the end of the labor when the birth is imminent. And of course, if the partner needs to leave the room for any one of these things, having a doula means that mom isn't left alone, because very few laboring moms like the idea of being left completely alone. So a lot of people may ask, but how do we afford a doula? This is perhaps an expense that we haven't considered during the pregnancy, but there are a lot of options. So thanks to the evidence in favor of doula support, that Cochrane review we discussed just now, some medical aids, for example, Discovery, Momentum, and Fed Health, have begun to recognize the advantages of doula support and have now got doula benefits. So the best is to find out from your medical aid or your broker how it works, because some medical aids may pay from your day-to-day savings, while others may pay towards your doula from a separate doula benefit. And then instead of items you may never use for your baby, I mean, do we really need those 𝙬𝙤𝙧𝙬 baby tackies? rather ask your baby shower guests to contribute towards your doula fund, towards giving you a better, more positive birth experience. Lastly, see if your doula is perhaps on MediWallet, which is a credit facility, or if she offers a payment plan. Most of us are quite willing to make accommodations where necessary, because at the heart of a doula is just wanting every parent to have the best possible birth experience that they can, because we are passionate about birth at the end of the day. So how do you hire a doula and when do you do it? So visit the WOMB's website or the Mama Bamba website. These are the two main doula training organizations in South Africa, and they both have tools available on their website so that you can find a certified doula in your area. If you are based in Gauteng, you are most welcome to contact me as well. Lastly, you can also ask your midwife or your medical aid even, or your friends and family for referrals on doulas they may have enjoyed working with. Once you find a couple of doulas that you are interested in, check out the reviews for them on their Facebook page, their Google business listing if they have one, their website if they've got one. And then it's really important to chat with a few doulas to see who you really click with. It's important to feel completely comfortable with this person, because they are going to be there supporting you during some really intimate and vulnerable moments. So you need to be completely comfortable with this person, and you need to click almost like old friends. And there really is a doula for every personality type. You know, perhaps you're looking for someone you can share a joke with, someone who's really calm, or someone with loads of energy who's going to dance your baby out with you. There is a doula for everyone. You just need to find her, and you will know the right one when you've chatted with her. So when do you hire a doula? Anytime during your pregnancy is a good time to hire a doula, because it's never too late. But to really benefit from the support and the information that you receive from your doula, it's usually better to hire them earlier on during the pregnancy journey. So I've had clients hire me as early as 6 weeks of pregnancy, and others only at 38 weeks. Generally, we find that around 12 weeks is usually a good time to be hiring your doula. Another thing to consider is that many doulas are booked up, averaging about 3 months in advance. So that's just another reason not to leave it too late if you know which doula you'd like to make use of for your birth. Thank you so much to everyone for attending this presentation, and just a special acknowledgement goes out to my clients and to the amazing birth photographers, both Sam Schroeder and Mila Photography, for most of the professional birth photos that I have used throughout this presentation. So if you would like to know anything more about the services a doula provides, if you'd like to meet up for an obligation-free chat and a coffee to see how a doula may support you, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You're welcome to pop me an email or even a WhatsApp. Visit my website. All of the contact details are there.